Okay, so my name is George Warfel. I'm from the team LCS Green Committee, and this is our CAP project. So the initial short-term goals of our project was to implement energy-saving technologies at our school, such as turning off unnecessary lights, adding timers, and motion sensors to the lights. We also wanted to explore the most cost-effective options for solar panels and find the best companies nearby to get the best prices. And from that, we were going to fundraise and apply for grants. And then from that, we wanted to implement 1-year and 5-year contracts with our school for solar panel installation in order to make sure these goals actually got done once I and my team graduate. So our initial long-term goals was to cover 100% of the school's energy needs through solar energy over the years, and also to ensure that the solar panels would pay for themselves as an investment, along with fundraising, and then to work with other schools and environmental groups in the area in order to install more renewable energy technologies and to increase awareness about climate change. So some challenges that we encountered and overcame was, in the beginning, it was very difficult to organize all the members of our administration together. And there were also some aesthetics issues because our administration, we presented ideas of putting solar panels as roofs over our parking lots. And the administration had some serious issues with the aesthetics of the project, which was a challenge. But during this meeting, we discovered that there was a previous solar opportunity that our school had investigated, and this is called Solar Walk, but they had not gone through with it really. So we talked to them about it, figured out more of the details, and basically Solar Walk is where the panels are installed and maintained for free on our building. And the energy is not given directly to our school, but it goes back to the power grid and it offsets our carbon footprint. So we ended up agreeing with the financial director at our school to sign a contract with Solar Walk. So we initiated cooperation between us and our financial director, and we eventually got him to sign a letter of intent with Solar Walk. So now it's in the hands of Solar Walk. And so we also had to organize volunteers to turn off these unnecessary lights. And we took those volunteers from our school's green committee. However, it's sometimes hard to go into school each morning and turn off the lights manually, especially when you're running late to class. So we had some issues with organizing that. And we also had to create entirely new initiatives now that we had signed this letter of intent with Solar Walk, and to expand our climate action project to not just solar energy, but many other issues. So this is an example of some Solar Walk work in our community. And this is a local campus of Millersville University where Solar Walk installed their solar panels. So the completed goals of our project, we implemented a lot of energy saving technologies at our school. So we're turning off unnecessary lights in multiple areas of our school, especially where there are skylights and many windows where the lights are just not necessary. We also signed that letter of intent between our school and the Solar Walk, and that plan estimates to have around 60% of our school's energy needs offset by that solar generated on our roof. And the project is financially appealing to our school because the only costs incurred by our school are roof repairs in order to support the solar panels on the roof. So some additional completed goals. So after we got the letter of intent, we wanted to establish more goals with our project. So we doubled the surface area of our community garden beds, and we donate all of our produce from there to local food banks. We also reached out to local companies for funding for these community gardens, and we did receive some. We also, most importantly, planned activities and presentations for our entire school during Earth Week, and these are also centering around sustainability. So our school is like a kindergarten through 12th grade school, so we were able to actually reach all of the grades in our school with these presentations. And we also planned fundraising and education event on April 23rd, which is today, and we had a 4-hour event today where we gave away native trees. We made seed bombs to increase local flowers to support pollinators, and we sold sustainable items to fundraise our garden beds. And we also were trying to increase the amount of organic gardens in our community by selling garden beds that we will be making in May. We also spoke with a composter director at a regional summer camp, and they helped us to figure out ways that we could increase the infrastructure of compost at our school and to accept more food items for compost. So this is an example of some of the Earth Day activities that we worked with the kids on. And on the right, you can see our community gardens where we're growing stuff right now. So on the left, you can see one of the slides from our coral bleaching presentation that I gave during Earth Week to our middle school. And on the right is just an example of the type of seed bombs we made with the lower schoolers and the adults today. So some short-term goals for the future are to install motion sensors in some less trafficked areas of our school and timers, because right now we're manually turning off unnecessary lights, and it would be much easier to have timers do that for us. And also, we want to discuss the reinstallation of a reduced number of lights in our cafeteria, because during our project, one of the lights in the cafeteria ended up burning down, which is obviously kind of a disaster for our school. And many of those lights, all of those lights had to be taken out. But this is one of the main parts of our project, was to eliminate unnecessary lights. And the cafeteria has a lot of windows and skylights, so it's almost completely lit by sunlight. So it's actually, those lemons have been turned into lemonade, because all of the administration and students have now been able to see that the sunlight actually illuminates all of the cafeteria without any lights. So we want to discuss only the installation of emergency lights with our maintenance director in the future. And we're also going to triple our community garden square footage in May, because we received all the fundraising today by having parents sponsor our beds. So some long-term goals for the future is to network with other schools to increase renewable energy in our area, because there's currently very little renewable energy. There's only a few wind and solar plants in our area. We also want to install 2 larger compost systems to expand our capacity for taking food waste, because currently we can only take very crude food waste that can only be composted in 2 small areas. And we also want to plant a pollinator garden nearby our vegetable gardens to establish more pollinator species. And we're going to discuss installation of solar panel roofs with our administration again, because there are a few roofed parking lots in our area. And we would like to show the school that there is a possibility to have solar panels on the roofs and still have an aesthetic building. And lastly, we want to install electric car chargers at our athletic entrance, because our athletic center was built with the necessary infrastructure to have solar car charging ports. However, our school, they told us we could not install them, only because they were afraid that kids would play on them and this could be a liability. However, that doesn't make very much sense, because our playground is open to the public and a lot of kids certainly play on that. So we're definitely facing some issues with some contradicting stories from the administration. So this is just an example of the type of solar panels and car chargers we want. So the impact of our CAP project. So our school consumes a lot of energy, and this energy is produced mainly with coal and also some natural gas. So by offsetting 60% of our carbon footprint, our electricity carbon footprint, we will have a very large positive impact on the power grid. Also, we want to reduce electricity consumption through the turning off of lights, and that raised awareness in our school because students saw us doing it, and we sent out emails to the entire school, and a lot of students became interested in helping us. And since then, we've also doubled our square footage of our community garden beds, and we're hoping to donate at least twice the amount of food, which we've already donated 300 pounds last year. And we also want to just say that the activities and events we planned for our school, they promoted a lot of awareness in our community, and we were really surprised that a lot of the kids that we educated and a lot of the students in our school, they really wanted to help us in the future, and we're really happy about that. And we just saw the parallel with Project Green Challenge and how it educated us, and we wanted to educate all age groups in our community. And lastly, just thank you to Turning Green. It's really just been a wonderful journey. We're really grateful to be part of this family. I'm so grateful to be part of a group like the LCDS Green Committee, which has been really wonderful in completing this project. And thank you to Laurel, my teammate, who has done much of this work.
Well done, George. And again, like, how do you go from roadblocks to lemonade, I guess? And I see that as a recurring theme. So for those of you that have really supportive administrations, good for them. And for those of you that don't, keep educating and keep bringing on the kids younger than you to keep fighting the fights. So really, really beautiful work.